You're never the same when you decide to commit and go all in. It makes a permanent difference in the way that you carry yourself going forward. Because what you realize when you lock the fuck in is that doing so gets results. When you're flirting with something, when you're dipping your toe, when you're umming and ahhing, when you're considering, pondering, nothing happens. Nothing. You don't get off the ground. But when you decide to lock in and you make a firm decision that this is what I'm going to sink my teeth into, and I'm not going to look left and right, I'm not going to bounce from this business to another business in 3 months if it looks more lucrative. I'm going to lock in, because only when I lock in do things really take off. And then it makes you think, when you lock in, it makes you think, what was I doing before? What was I doing before? I was just dabbling. Dabblers do not get paid. Professionals get paid. A professional is someone that commits to his craft, that decides that this is what I want to be known for. I want to be a specialist in whatever industry that you decide to do, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's trading, whether it's music, whatever it is, right? When people ask me, what do you do? I want to be able to say one thing. This is what I do. Not, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, and that. People do not respect those that dabble. Now, there's a big difference when you become really successful and you start to invest in other things. That's different. But even people that do that, they still, when people ask them what they do, they still mention their bread and butter, the thing that they became successful doing. For example, if you became successful doing real estate and then you had the money to invest in starting an e-commerce store and invest in whatever, other ventures, crypto, whatever. That's a smart thing to do, to diversify your income, right? But they didn't become successful with 7 different things at the same time. They became successful doing one thing. They were a specialist at one thing for many, many years. That's all they were doing. And I see this common mistake happen now. And look, I was guilty of this in my early 20s as well, is feeling like I was getting boxed into one thing. And I thought that was a negative thing. I thought, you know what, you don't want to be locked into one thing. You want to kind of open your wings and consider many different things. And don't get me wrong, in order to find the thing that you should lock into, you may have to taste different things, right? But you still have to then eventually choose one thing. I tried the 2 or 3 business models at the same time approach in my early 20s. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't. You have to choose the craft that you will commit to. But once you lock in, you start to see results. You see, there is no best business model. Every business model works if you work it. I'm going to say that again. Every business model works if you work it. It's not about the business model. It's about the person and the approach they have to the business model. There are people out there making $1 million a year with a dry cleaning business, a very traditional, I would say not a very sexy business model compared to all the ones that exist nowadays, all this online stuff, whatever. There are people making $1 million a year from a dry cleaning business. Does that mean dry cleaning is better than, I don't know, let's say drop shipping? There's a drop shipper out there making $200K a year. Does that mean dry cleaning is better than drop shipping? No. But that guy that is making $1 million a year from that dry cleaning business, he went all in on dry cleaning. He wasn't trying to do dry cleaning and drop shipping and Forex and music. And he just decided, you know what? I'm going to fucking clean clothes. I want to become really good at doing that. I want to make as much money as I can doing that. But a lot of young guys fall into the trap of, oh, yeah, but that guy's making a lot of money doing this, so that means that that business model is better. No. That's what he decided was going to make him the money that he wanted to make. You have to decide what is going to be your craft. What is going to be your one thing. And lock into that. When you lock in, you eliminate all of the noise. You put the blinders on. You know when horses are racing? They put blinders on them so they don't get distracted by the horse on their right and on their left, right? So they can just run straight. Put the blinders on. What is it that you're going to be doing? Do that and only that. And you will notice that there's so much fewer distractions. There's less noise. You're able just to knuckle down and figure out a way to make as much money doing that one thing as possible. Right? And you'll notice you'll start getting results at that one thing. Things will start clicking. It doesn't have to be a sexy business model. It can be very fucking boring. A lot of boring business models make a lot of money. Just gave you one example. Dry cleaning. Nothing really sexy about it as a business model, right? But it makes money. Understand that business inside out if that's what you want to do, right? You can sell. I mean, there are people out there selling honey online and only honey. That's all they fucking sell. They're not trying to be the next, online grocery platform selling every single item. No, they're just selling honey. And they're making a shit ton of money selling honey. Believe you me, there's a lot of honey people out there. They like honey. And they will happily spend money on the highest quality honey. I know I would. I love honey. Manuka honey, beautiful. Right? Subscription honey business, perfect, mate. Is it easy? No. No one said this was going to be easy. And you shouldn't make decisions based on what is easy. If you believe that you can provide value in a particular industry, then go into it and make sure that you improve the offering that exists in the marketplace. There are so many people selling honey online. It's not about reinventing honey. It's not about creating, honey that is blue instead of fucking yellow or gold, right? It's just about making sure that the honey that you're selling is deemed to be valuable to people, right? Maybe what you're selling is convenience. Instead of people having to go out there and find that particular honey that they like, you deliver it straight to their door, or you send them a box of different honeys every month, or whatever it may be. Understand the industry and seek to improve upon what is out there. Right? But just lock into one thing. That's when results start coming. Then with the money you make from honey, let's just say, you buy an apartment, rent it out. There you go. Now you're in real estate. But if somebody asks you, so what do? You don't say, well, I do real estate, I do honey, I do this. You'll be there fucking forever. The elevator pitch, the idea behind the elevator pitch is to be able to, within 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how high up we're going, right? Is to be able to tell somebody what it is that you do. And often a lot of the times people believe that the more they say, the more impressive they sound. But in reality, if you just say, this is what I do, one thing, I sell honey online, for example, or I build apartment blocks, whatever it may be, I sell suits. Say what it is that you do. Be a specialist at something. That is far more impressive than being a generalist talking about, oh, well, I do real estate, I do dropshipping, I do TikTok, I do it. That's not impressive. And look, I'm not telling you this so that you can impress people. I'm telling you this because it helps you when you decide to lock into one thing. That's how you win at something. It's hard to It's hard to really succeed at something if you're just dabbling with it. And if you're dabbling with 5, 6, 7 things, you're not going to be successful at any one of them. Jack of all trades, master of none, as they say. That is very true. There is somebody out there that only does e-commerce, and you're doing e-commerce, trading, music, real estate, this, that. You're just not going to beat the guy that only does e-commerce. He's all the way in. And that's where you need to be, all the way in, locked in, blinders on. You don't look right, you don't look left. I don't give a fuck what your cousin's doing to make money. I don't give a fuck if he has a AMG GTR. Because you'll start doing what he's doing, and then somebody else will rock up to you one day in a Rolls Royce, and you'll think, oh, but he must be doing something better than my cousin because he's got a more valuable car. That's a dumb way of looking at things. There are people richer than the guy with the Rolls Royce, and they don't drive a Rolls Royce. They drive maybe an Audi A6, but they have more money than the dude with the Rolls Royce. So if you're only basing your decisions on what to do, on whether or not someone has an expensive car, then you're looking at things from a very superficial level. I saw a video the other day of some guy on TikTok that details private jets. I mean, fair enough. What a way to make money, right? I think he charges like over $10,000 for every detail. That's all he fucking does. He's got a private jet detailing business. Brilliant. Okay, keep it simple, man. Choose one thing and lock in. All right? Thanks for watching this video, gents. Let me know what you think down below. What is it that you're going to lock into? What is your one thing? Drop it down below.